study with Priya Karelia, and today we are going to learn about chemical reactions and equations. So, what are chemical reactions? They are the processes in which new substances with new properties are formed. You must be familiar with some of the situations of our daily life, such as cooking of food, fermentation of grapes, souring of milk, or rusting of iron. In all such processes, some kind of chemical change is involved. Even in the process of our digestion or respiration, chemical changes are involved. You are familiar with chemical changes, you have learned about in your previous. So now, before moving to the chapter, let us go with some of the definitions which are important to you. So now, chemical reaction is a process in which new substances with new properties are formed. Reactants. The substances which take part in chemical reactions are called reactants. Now, what are the products? So, the substances formed as a result of a chemical reaction are products. Now, here some of the examples of reactions are given. Mg, that is magnesium, when it reacts with O2, oxygen, it forms magnesium oxide. Above this, you can see the picture of the burning of magnesium ribbon. So, when magnesium ribbon burns, it emits white flame. And afterwards, when the reaction is completed, you could see the white residue or white powder left behind. So that powder is of magnesium oxide. This reaction is given in the form of an activity in a book as activity 1.1. Now in activity 1.2 there is the second reaction, that is when lead nitrate reacts with potassium iodide, it forms lead iodide and potassium nitrate. Here lead iodide is formed as a precipitate, as a yellow precipitate. So what are precipitates? So they are the substances which does not dissolve in water. Here lead iodide is formed as a precipitate. Henceforth, this is also said to be precipitation reaction. Now you must be observing what is this written? 2Mg, 2MgO, 2KNO3, 2Ki. So what are this? So you have learnt in your previous classes about the law of conservation of mass. So what does it say actually? It means that the mass of reactants must be equal to the mass of products, or the mass of products should be equal to the mass of reactants. Or we can say that the number of atoms of each element should be equal in both the reactants as well as the products. Henceforth, to satisfy the law of conservation of mass, we need to balance the chemical equation. That is, we need to write such 2Mg or 2Mg in order to balance the equation, or such that their mass remains the same. Henceforth, balancing of equations is necessary. Another thing which is to be noted is that whenever a chemical reaction takes place, we could observe some of the important things, that is the evolution of a gas. In most of the chemical reactions, evolution of gas takes place, otherwise the change in state, change in color, or change in temperature takes place. So from these four things, most of the things take place while the chemical reaction occurs. Now, combination reactions. So when two or more so there are four kinds of reactions. Combination reaction is the first. So what is it? When two or more substances combine to form a single product, it is called combination reaction. When two or more substances combine to form a single product, it is called combination reaction. Some of the examples are given. H2 plus O2 will give you H2O. This is the formation of water. Now when calcium oxide reacts with water, it forms calcium hydroxide. Here calcium oxide is said to be quicklime and calcium hydroxide is said to be slaked lime. These are their general names. Quicklime, that is calcium oxide, and calcium hydroxide is said to be slaked lime. In this reaction, when calcium hydroxide is formed, if you touch the beaker, you will find it is very hot. So some of the reactions evolve heat. Such kind of reactions are said to be exothermic reactions. What are they? Exothermic reactions are the reactions in which the heat is evolved. You could see the picture of calcium hydroxide in the here aside. Now NH3, that is ammonia, when it reacts with hydrochloric acid, it forms NH4Cl, that is ammonium chloride. Now when CO, that is carbon monoxide or carbon oxide, when it reacts with oxygen, it forms carbon dioxide. All these are the examples of combination reactions. Now the other kind of reaction is decomposition reaction. So what are they? They are just the opposite of combination reactions. That is, these are the reactions in which a compound splits up into two or more compounds. So when from a single compound two or more compounds are formed as a product, they are said to be decomposition reactions. Here, all such reactions use energy in the form of heat, electricity or light. The examples are given. When calcium carbonate splits up in the presence of heat, it forms calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. That is quicklime calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Now, one more thing which you need to keep in your mind is that a solution of slaked lime, that is calcium hydroxide, is used in whitewashing the walls. Whitewashing the walls means to make them shine, to make the walls shine. So what happens is that the solution of calcium hydroxide which is formed, when it is spread into the walls, it reacts slowly with the carbon dioxide which is present in the air, and it forms a thin layer of calcium carbonate on the walls. Calcium carbonate, that is CaCO3 on the walls, and this layer of calcium carbonate, it is formed after 2 to 3 days, and it gives a shiny finish to the walls. And the formula of marble is also calcium CaCO3, that is calcium carbonate. Also the formula of limestone is CaCO3. Okay, along with chalk. Now the other is when FeSO4, that is ferrous sulfate, in the presence of heat, it splits up into ferric oxide, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. It is also given in this reaction is also given in the form of an activity. That is activity 1.5. Here, this is also important question in exams. So ferrous sulfate, as you could see in the picture, ferrous sulfate crystals which are there, they are green in color. But after the reaction, when it changes into ferric oxide, it forms a brown residue. So from green, a conversion takes place to brown color. And the other observation which is there is a smell of burning sulfur could be observed. Now, the other reaction is when water that is H2O, water molecule splits in the presence of electricity into hydrogen and oxygen. It is also given in the form of an activity 1.7. Now, activity 1.6 reaction is when lead nitrate in the presence of heat produces lead oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. So here lead oxide is formed, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen is formed when lead nitrate splits. So here the two observations which are to be noted in this reaction E are you could observe reddish brown fumes. Reddish brown fumes are observed and irritating smell could also be observed. Moving to next reaction, this is AgCl, that is silver chloride, in the presence of sunlight splits up into silver and chlorine. So firstly AgCl which is there, it is brown in color, but after the reaction has taken place in the presence of sunlight, it splits up into silver and chlorine, and henceforth white color is gone and silver color comes. Why? Because of the formation of silver. The same is true for the other reaction when silver bromide in the presence of sunlight, it again produces silver and bromine. Again from white color, the change to gray color takes place. Moving to the third kind of reaction, that is displacement reaction. So what are they? So in these reactions, the highly reactive element simply displaces the less reactive element. In order to understand this kind of reactions better, you need to learn the metal reactivity series. because in such kind of reactions takes place only when the highly reactive element is present and there is the salt of less reactive element. Here, as when copper sulfate reacts with magnesium to form magnesium sulfate and copper. So, magnesium is more reactive than copper and henceforth it displaces it from its solution and magnesium sulfate is formed and copper is formed. The picture given here is of the second reaction in which copper sulfate plus iron, it gives you iron sulfate plus copper. So, here again iron displaces copper because it is more reactive than copper. Here you could see in the picture that when iron nail is dipped in blue copper sulfate solution, after some time the iron nail turns brown. So why does it happen? It is because iron displaces copper from its solution and henceforth the solution turns light green and the copper which was there in the solution, it displaces into the iron nail and henceforth a brown coating could be, red brown coating or layer could be observed on the iron nail. So these are displacement reactions. Now double displacement. So what are this kind of reactions? So the reactions in which exchange of ions takes place are called double displacement reactions. So these are the reactions in which the exchange of ions take place. Here you could see silver nitrate, when it reacts with sodium chloride it forms silver chloride plus sodium nitrate. So here exchange of ions takes place. Now Na2SO4, that is sodium sulfate, when it reacts with barium chloride it forms barium sulfate and sodium chloride. This is again an example of a textbook. This is an example of double displacement reaction and also the precipitation reaction. Why? Because BaSO4, that is barium sulfate, it is formed as a white precipitate. You could observe the white precipitate of barium sulfate. So it is solid, while NaCl it is aqueous. So now from all the reactions, now coming to the redox reactions. So what are redox reactions? So this is actually a mixture of oxidation and reduction reactions. What are oxidation reactions? So adding of oxygen or removal of hydrogen is said to be oxidation. The reduction reactions are the opposite, removal of oxygen or adding of hydrogen. Whenever from either of the activity takes place, removal of oxygen or adding of hydrogen, we can say that compound in reaction reduction has taken place. So below the examples are given. Copper plus oxygen will give you copper oxide. Copper oxide plus hydrogen will give you copper plus water. So here what has actually happened, let me tell you. Copper plus oxygen will give you copper oxide. Here you could see in the copper oxygen is added and copper oxide is formed. So copper is said to be oxidized. Why? Because of in copper oxygen is added and so copper is said to be oxidized. But in oxygen, in oxygen metal is added, that is copper, henceforth oxygen is said to be reduced but copper is said to be oxidized. Okay, after that so here something like this takes place. Now copper which is there, it is actually brown in color, but when copper oxide forms it produces a brown color. Now when in copper oxide, when hydrogen is passed, hydrogen gas is passed through copper oxide, again copper and water are, H2O is formed. Copper and H2O are formed. So here now what is oxidized? Now from CuO, that is copper oxide, oxygen is removed and copper is formed. So here copper is said to be reduced. Now in hydrogen, oxygen is added. So hydrogen is said to be oxidized. Okay, no, H2O is not oxidized. All the reactions now coming to the
here copper which was brown in color, it turns copper oxide, it turns to black. Copper oxide is black and copper is brown in color.
All the reactions now coming to the redox reactions. So what are redox reactions? So This is now the last topic is corrosion and rancidity. So what is corrosion? This also you are familiar with. So the process of slow oxidation of metals due to air, moisture and chemicals is called corrosion. So the examples are rusting of iron. When iron comes in contact with moisture, air or oxygen, it corrodes or a brown layer is seen. Blackening of silver is also an example of corrosion. Silver reacts with sulfur present in the air and forms a black coating. Again, copper is also corroded. We could observe greenish coating on copper. Why? Because copper reacts with atmospheric carbon dioxide and forms greenish layer, which is an example of corrosion. Corrosion causes heavy damage to the property. Okay, now rancidity. So it is the process of slow oxidation of oil and fats present in food causing foul smell and taste. Is rancidity. So now we must have observed, especially during summers, the food cooked food when it is that contains oil and fats, when it is kept for some time, it is left for some time, a foul it doesn't taste good and a foul smell is also observed. Why? So we can say that the food has become rancid. Okay, why? What is this rancidity? Because why it happens? Because the food which contains oil and fats, they react with the oxygen from atmosphere and henceforth produce foul smell and taste. So here below picture is given of fresh oil and rancid oil. You could easily observe the difference of fresh and rancid oil. So now, in order to prevent rancidity, there are many methods to prevent rancidity. So first is keeping food in refrigerators. It slows down the process of rancidity. The other method is keeping food in airtight containers. When we keep food in airtight containers, it reduces the contact of food with oxygen and henceforth it prevents the process of rancidity. So these are the examples by which we can prevent rancidity. Rancidity can also be retarded by stowing the food away from light. In the absence of light, the oxidation of fats and oils present in food is slowed down and hence the development of rancidity is retarded. Okay. So these are the few methods by which we can prevent rancidity. The chip manufacturers which are there, they flush the bags with nitrogen to prevent rancidity. How? So nitrogen, which is a less reactive gas, it prevents the contact of chips with oxygen and henceforth prevents the rancidity. So this was all about rancidity. And the other thing is that most of the manufacturers, what they do is they add antioxidants. Some of the well-known antioxidants are BHA, that is butylated hydroxyanazole, and BHT, that is butylated hydroxytoluene. These are the well-known antioxidants. BHA, butylated hydroxyanazole, and BHT. So this was all about chemical reactions and equations. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and keep studying with Tia Karingia. Thank you everyone.